Hello and welcome to the Solder Side. Today we're going to be looking at this Mega Drive Flashback. Okay, so I'll put the eBay listing up here so you guys can see what's wrong with it. They say it powers on, but after 10 minutes or so it crashes. So I guess let's get it plugged in and see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so it looks like it does power on. The controllers for this are wireless. I've just got it right here. So let's see if it starts up and we can play games. And then what I'll do is I'll leave it on to see how long it takes before it dies. Well, so far no crashing. I'll just leave it on, see what happens. Okay, there we go. It's no longer moving anymore. So I can't press anything. Even if I press start, nothing happens. So I guess let's get it on the bench and see what we can see inside. I'm assuming something's warmed up on it. Okay, let's get this open. So I'm assuming they're going to be under these feet. Yeah, I wonder if we should get this under the microscope to see if we can see anything out of the ordinary. Okay, so I had that under the microscope for a while. Couldn't see anything. I did a bit of probing and everything looked normal. So I'm going to try and plug it in. I don't know if that's actually going to come on because the power switch is not in there. It's going to be within the here. I just want to have a look. I wanted to see if anything got hot, but I don't have a thermal camera, so I don't think anything came on then. I'm going to put it back in the case, so I'm just going to lift the camera back up. I'll put it back in the case and I will get it all plugged back in and I will see if anything gets warm. So bear with me while I put this back in. I don't really have a thermal camera, so the only way that I'm going to see anything is if I put some isopropyl alcohol on there and see if anything, see if it dries up quicker than in other areas. So I've just put some isopropyl in there. I don't see anything, I don't see it drying off very quickly off of anything at the moment. I don't feel anything particularly hot. I mean, everything feels like normal temperature. No, they're all cold. The chip's warm, but it's not like roasting. No, my finger's not burning when I touch it. I don't know whether it might be a software issue or a hardware issue right now. I think I'm going to go away and do some digging online to see if there's anything on there that it suggests that I can rule out the software maybe. I can't see anything wrong with hardware. I mean, it all dried off rather slowly. I'm just going to put a bit more on here. I'm wondering if I'm able to plug the TV into it right now, just to see what it's doing, see if it's frozen, or because I might wait till it's frozen and then just do the isopropyl test to see if there's anything that's really hot. If not, I am not quite sure about how I'm going to fix this yet. Yeah, so at the moment it's acting normal. Yeah, I don't know whether this chip's getting too hot, but it's not burning my finger. I think this section is to do with sound. I think. I'm pretty sure this is to do with controller, the wireless controller, because I think that's the aerial. But at the moment, I can't see anything going wrong with it. I think what I'll do is I will stop the recording at the moment, and then I'll come back on once it's stuck, and we'll do a bit of another test to see if there's anything that's really hot, and take it from there, I guess. Okay, so it's currently frozen. I was just having a look at menu. I wasn't even playing games, so it looks like it just freezes when, well, after a certain period of time. But I've also tested it, so I've turned it off, turned it straight back on, and it's working fine. I can't see anything in here that is hot because the isopropyl isn't evaporating quickly. So I don't think the issue's a hardware issue, unless it's something more serious. Everything that I've put in isopropyl is still dry. Sorry, still wet. I can't see anything wrong with this on a hardware level. So I need to find out more about this online because I have never owned one of these before and I don't really know much about them. So I will see you guys shortly. Okay, so I have been delving deep online. It looks like there's a lot of people with this issue, and I've not found any solutions yet. I just saw a video from my mate Vince, and he was playing around with, I think it was these components here, but I just tested it by touching them with the end of this plastic toothbrush and I didn't get the same effect. However, when I touched it with my finger, I did. So I don't think that is the issue. I was looking around in his comments as well, and a lot of people are talking about these connectors here. Now that's like a UART connection, and I was trying to figure out which is which. You know what, basically which pin does what, because one will be VCC, one will be ground, there'll be an RX and a TX. So one's read, one's write. If I bring my multimeter over and I set it to continuity, and this is how I found ground. So I just plonked one probe on here. Oh, hang on. Oh, okay. That didn't do that last time. So both of these are connected to ground, which is annoying. However, if I put it into volts and then apply some power, so if I turn this on, so you can see that's now on. Oops, just drop my probe. If I put this on here, pin 1 is nearly 5 volts. pin 2 is pretty much nothing. Pin 3 is 0, 2 and 0, 2. So if I go further down, so into the milliohms, and I'll go from the ground pin, which is this one, we get like 18 millivolts, and this one is also 18 millivolts. So I can't tell which one of those is which, even if I power it off. So if I power that off and I start with my probe in here and the other one in here, so there's obviously still some residual voltage in there from capacitors, but if I turn it on, you can see it goes up to 16, then 19, 20, 19, and it fluctuates a bit. But it doesn't really give anything away. Doesn't matter how long I leave it on here, it kind of sits around the same level. And then it drops down to about 15. And that's kind of what it sits on. And if I do the same on the other pin, I get the exact same result. So I'm really struggling to figure out if I can get these connected. Because if I can, I've got an Arduino, and I could probably read some faults or something from it. Not that I'm an expert on it. I've never done this kind of stuff before. But as you can see, I've just gone to the other pin and it's pretty much doing the same thing. It's gone up to 20 and then it drops down and it goes back up and it goes down again. So I don't know which one of those is RX and which is TX. The other thing that I don't think I'll be able to show you on this camera, I might have to get it under the microscope, but where's, I can't really see. Where is it? Yeah, so that's the art, and you can see there's two empty blobs there, and they're not connected to anything. And I'm wondering if they need to be populated for the RX and TX to actually work. The other possibility is that they've turned it off in software, so they've sort of disabled it to stop people from basically hacking the thing. But I think I'm just going to go do some more research to see if I can figure out what I can do, and I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so I've tried plugging this into the Arduino in the hopes that they are UART, but they're not. So I've tried these ones. So pin 1 here is 5 volts, then there's a ground, and then there's 2 which sit around the 15-20 millivolts. And I've tried these ones. So the bottom one's ground and the top 2 are both set at 3.3 volts. So I've tried both of them with the Arduino. So I've plugged the ground into ground and the RX into this pin and this pin and this pin over here and this pin, and I get nothing back on the serial monitor no matter what baud rate I set. I'll just show that now so you guys can see what I see. So I am convinced at the moment that this is going to be a software issue, and I don't know whether it's like a memory leak or it could even be like the crystals where they slightly go out of time and it's not clearing out some cache, and it's not resetting something. So I don't think there's much more that I can do. I don't have any way of reading crystals, and I don't have an oscilloscope, so I can't even read what the chips are doing. But if you guys have any idea on what I can do to fix this issue, drop it down in the comments, and I'll probably do a part 2 once I've got enough suggestions. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a thumbs up if you did, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.